Hello there. I'm recording this on Monday, November the 6th, 2023, and that means two things. We're 11 days from the Leonid meteor shower, and if you have any plans, can I come too? I'll bring cocoa. And it's also time for the Darkness News Update, which starts with the philosophical translations of the Royal Society B, the biological sciences publication of the Royal Society of England, the one of the oldest, most venerable publications in science, has published an entire issue about light pollution. I have not had a chance to read the whole thing yet. There's a great bit about mountain lions. There's a excellent proposal for a new model to research fauna disruption. There's a bit about how soil changes under light. I recommend you read it right now, even though I haven't finished. And I'm also going to recommend that you leave a comment if you want a bonus episode where I just go through this issue, maybe a week from now. Totally standalone episode where I just go through that. But otherwise, Forge and Lumileds have partnered on better outdoor lighting. Lumileds makes a new LED chip that only emits 2% blue light, and Forge would be their manufacturing partner. They're gunning for a recognition from DarkSky International as part of their fixture recognition program, and we'll see what comes to light and comes to life as they build things. The National Science Fund has given a grant for California Polytechnic State University to begin a 5-year mission to study light and noise pollution's effects on songbirds. They're going to New Mexico, where specifically around some oil fields, because there are periods when the oil fields are not active at all, and periods where they're very bright and very loud. And they've already observed that when they're off, the birds will get very close to the facilities, even though they're big oil fields. But we'll see what happens over 5 years. We have a new hobbyist conservation program beginning to save UK glowworms. He's literally collecting them from places that are too bright and transplanting them somewhere darker. We have a survey of 2,000 French citizens showing that 83% of them do fear dark roads at night, that they don't like the lack of visibility, and that doesn't change whether they're walking, whether they're riding, whether they're driving. Iowa wind farms are switching from red lights to illuminate their windmills to radar. So in the past, we've discussed how wind farms are too bright at night, and now we're seeing 4 counties adapt to a system that would still warn pilots about the wind farm's presence, but would not disturb any locals on the ground. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has begun a migration awareness campaign as birds move south, and people need to keep their curtains closed and start turning unnecessary light off. An outdoor mall in Kalamazoo, also Michigan, has opted for DarkSky International approved fixtures in this area as part of relamping. The whole city will eventually go to similar lighting, but that'll happen through the normal maintenance process. There is a new Coastal Protection Act proposed for Nova Scotia, and this would include rules for lighting, and that's a big deal because Nova Scotia is mostly coastal. There are not many communities on inland. Speaking of Nova Scotia, there is a new citizen science project underway where students are being invited to count stars all through November, and chart how light pollution is changing for the province. In updates to our various LDS stories that we've been covering, the Wasatch County Planning Committee has recommended that the LDS Temple go forward as written. Now, that still has to be approved by Haber City Council, but there we go. On the other side of the mountains, in Wyoming, Cody is going to court. Specifically, a neighborhood group has begun presenting evidence at court to try to block their proposed LDS temple. I know in the past we have said that we don't have any particular cultural or social beef or a doctrinal beef with the LDS, and that's not exactly true. We don't mean any ill will. Neither myself, nor Nailed, nor the Lighting and Darkness Foundation have any specific grievance with the Latter-day Saints Church. It's just that we do disagree because their doctrine their reading of their doctrine seems to indicate that they want very tall, very upright buildings going up for their temples, and we are urging them to reconsider that interpretation of text and reconsider giving peace a chance with their neighbors. Fairfax County, Virginia, has proposed new changes to lighting on private property near a new observatory. Prior to this, it had been an Air Force base, so there were already rules of requiring nearby residences to cut off lights and insist on motion detectors for exterior lightings. But now they're opting to regulate levels of brightness as well as color temperature. And we'll see how that goes if that gets approved. And finally, short week this week, NASA is celebrating a record year for turtle nesting. Cape Kennedy, the Kennedy Center, is home to a number of turtle nests, including just under 14,000 this year. This is a 3-year trend moving upward. NASA spokespeople have said this is a new lighting system that they've installed on their facilities, as well as a new dune management program they've been working with to keep the turtles safe. This episode is, of course, brought to you by viewers like you and the donations that you give to the Lighting and Research Foundation. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider donating, set up a recurring. If you can't do that right now, I totally get it. But please do consider sharing with a friend or leaving a rating and review, because the more ratings and reviews we get, the more of an authority we look like, the more respectable we are. And that really will push our movement forward. Until next time, I've been Scott Wachter. Have a good week.